The three categories in the 2020 Robert Stephenson Awards are small, for projects with a value under 1 million, medium, for projects with a value between 1 and 5 million, large, for projects with a value over 5 million. There are 4 shortlisted projects in the small category. They are Port of Sunderland Emergency Works, Essity Drainage Upgrade and Pollution Prevention Works, Briar Vale Flood Alleviation Scheme, Spring Gardens Dam Remedial Works. Let's hear more about the projects nominated in the small project category. First up, Port of Sunderland, project team Sunderland City Council and Esh Construction Limited.
The Port of Sunderland Emergency Works was brought around due to severe weather as the beast from the east. This resulted in a lot of the coastal defences being severely damaged from the high seas with the waves and the swells that ensued.
I think one of the key drivers to the project's success was collaboration. We previously worked with a team of divers. We chose to work with them again, and we were able to locate all of the pink granite copings and recover them from the inner harbour with large cranes and the dive team.
It was a very interesting project that was very successful. No environmental issues, no health and safety problems, and ensured that the client was very happy with the end result.
Next up is Essity Drainage Upgrade and Pollution Prevention Works, project team Essity UK Limited, Portland Consulting Engineers, Meldrum Construction Services Limited and Todd Milburn Partnership.
The project is to clean up the surface water discharge from an industrial facility in Prudhoe, which is the Essity paper mill and recycling plant in Prudhoe, who make various hygiene tissue products. By cleaning up that surface water, it brings environmental benefits for wildlife and for sort of amenity as well. The surface water discharges are cleaned up by way of a piece of equipment called an interceptor, and what that does is it removes the pollutants from the surface water. The interceptors for this project are all bespoke, which means they're about 15 metres long and 4.5 metres in diameter. And to install these large pieces of kit within an operational facility is something of a challenge.
The key to the success was the way that all the different parties and stakeholders worked together. Production was the key, and as far as I know, I don't think the production was affected.
Next is Briar Vale Flood Alleviation Scheme, project team North Tyneside Council, Capita and Environment Agency.
It brings quite a lot of pluses, this scheme. The primary focus was to protect 34 properties from internal flooding.
The horrible severe rainstorms of recent years, including the Thunder Thursday events in 2012, we saw unfortunately a lot of houses in Briar Vale inundated multiple times, actually, to the point where residents were having to move out. We quickly realised that there was an opportunity to do something much bigger and better, to link into some of the flood alleviation work that our partner agencies were doing and come up with a whole different integrated approach to how we deal with the problem that would then generate multiple benefits.
It involved quite a lot of working like in partnership with a lot of landowners, which was quite challenging aspect of the project because there were more than 4 landowners involved, and we had to agree the construction of the scheme.
The whole thing was a really good example, I think, of true collaboration to achieve an end product that was much more impressive than what we originally set out to do. Ultimately, to get that feedback from residents to say they're delighted with the end product, I think that's the most pleasing aspect of the scheme for me personally.
And the final project in the small project category is Spring Gardens Dam Remedial Works, project team Environment Agency, Mott MacDonald and BAM Nuttall Limited.
The great thing about this project is the way that it really put the end user at the heart of the design process. The Spring Gardens Dam was built in 2005 and protects about 560 homes and businesses from flooding in Southchurch and Bishop Auckland. It's proved incredibly effective since it was built, but with all the river debris from the entire catchment above the dam going through the debris screen there, it often becomes blocked. We explored a number of mechanised options, but given the fact that the entire site becomes submerged in essentially 6 metres of water, that proved incredibly complex. And so the design team and the operatives who actually clear the screen came up with a number of solutions, and the preferred one in the end was one around improving access to allow robotic machinery onto the screens to allow it to hold more weight.
Working on the wet side of the dam, we had to contend with the flooding itself. So even when the weather was against us and the water was up, find ways to carry on working. To see the finished product was definitely worthwhile in the end.
I think the project deserves to win the award in terms of that it very much has solved the problem, and the operatives who actually will be using the scheme at the end of it are absolutely ecstatic at what's actually been delivered.
Fantastic project. This is what the judges had to say about the winner of the small category.
We had a number of projects which thought outside the box, collaborative working, diversity of skills, sustainable driven targets, and we felt across the board that they were each quite outstanding in their own right. The winner, we felt, was the result of the extraordinary circumstances. We're talking about an extraordinary rainfall event which damaged a significant major community asset, and the response of the team, the diversity of skills, the collaborative approach, while still achieving sustainable and environmentally friendly targets, was something that we felt kept just pipped them to the post. I guess what we would call the cherry on top. So we're very proud for the winner of that category, but also proud of the nominees who did an astounding job.
The winner of the Robert Stephenson Awards small category is Port of Sunderland Emergency Works. Congratulations to Sunderland City Council and Esh Construction Limited. There are 6 shortlisted projects in the medium category. They are Sea Houses Main Pier Restoration, Northern Gateway, Otterburn Water Treatment Works Upgrade, Hadrick's Mill, Archers Junction Improvements, City of Durham Sewerage, Flassvale. Okay, let's start with Sea Houses Main Pier Restoration. Project Team Northumberland County Council, Royal Haskilling DHV, Balfour Beatty and Environment Agency.
We observed accelerating deterioration of the main pier in Sea Houses, which is sort of on the Northumberland coast. The area is particularly important because the pier directly protects over 160 properties, both business and residential. The team worked with the regulators to reduce both the footprint of the new walls. In doing so, we managed to reduce that footprint by 25%. During construction, Balfour's ensured continual access to the Farne Islands and successfully managed to bring over 100,000 people through the works. And they did so without single complaint, which is an absolute credit to the way they managed that interface.
Being able to manage the significant number of people through the works and our construction traffic, conversely through the large amounts of people at the entrance to the harbour during the works, that's quite a unique kind of point for the scheme.
And now for Northern Gateway. Project Team Sunderland City Council, Waterman Aspen, ACOM and WSP.
I think for me, the fact that so many people have benefited from this project perhaps makes it suitable for this award. The intention of the job was to create a more direct route into the city centre. Historically, we had a more convoluted one-way gyratory system. So this project was intended to simplify the road network, create a more direct route into the city. Quite a large-scale project in terms of the distance that it covered, covering 1.8 kilometres of road network.
Working in the city centre does bring numerous challenges when working within live traffic, and obviously we were a stone's throw away from the Stadium of Light.
Sunderland City Council had the task of delivering a real big highway improvement scheme whilst also having 1.5 million visitors to the city, and we got around that. No disruption, and our scheme continued as planned.
I just think the whole community kind of feel that the job really did kind of help sell it and kind of keep everyone on board.
We had 200 children visit the site to learn about civil engineering and letting them understand what we do, how we deliver projects, giving a tour to perhaps the future engineers of the world. It was just a really varied and interesting project.
Next up is Otterburn Water Treatment Works Upgrade. Project Team Northumbrian Water Group, Mott MacDonald Bentley and Rossshire Engineering.
We were tasked with putting a new treatment process in Otterburn, Rochester and Burness, whilst keeping the old online. So everything was built offline and then brought on at a later date. The project itself stands out because with ourselves and with Northumbrian Water, they've took on two key elements in this that's never been done before. So the TTU unit uses a nanofiltration system, which basically filters out not only bugs and organic material, but it takes out cryptosporidium and viruses or anything else that's in the water. I would say the project itself has been very successful on sustainability, zero waste on materials, builds offsite, and the health and safety side's been very key as well.
The fourth project in the medium category is Hadrick's Mill. Project team Newcastle City Council, Ireland Engineering and Esh Construction Limited.
I think the Hadrick's Mill scheme should win because it showed teamwork, it showed coordination from every party. The scheme involved the widening of the existing carriageway by approximately 14 metres to introduce a bus lane and a cycleway as well. The scheme started in May 2018 for Esh to carry out the enabling works, to which Newcastle City Council then carried out the road construction following. We encountered several major challenges throughout the scheme, some of which were diverted gas mains.
Then we also had to work very close to Nexus Railway, which had its own challenges in that it took quite a few months to get the design and method of construction past Nexus and for us to be able to commence the piling on site.
I think my favourite aspect of the scheme was finding resolution to several problems that we encountered throughout and having the design on the spot. Loved it, absolutely loved the challenge.
Next is Archers Junction Improvements. Project team South Tyneside Council, AECOM and Galliford Try Infrastructure.
There's always going to be more than one element that makes a project special and makes it stand out. You're working with one another and you're utilising everyone's experience and best practice, and you're bringing it together to do what is best for the scheme, but more importantly, what's best for people. And that's what this is all about, right? This is what we're in this industry for. We're here to improve people's lives, make, the roads better and safer, and ensure that our loved ones reach home safely. So the scheme itself was a collaboration between South Tyneside Council, Galliford Try, AECOM and RSK. And the schematics of the actual project was a remodelling of the existing Archers Junction, where the A194 meets the A185 in South Shields. The aim of the scheme was to reduce journey times, enhance road user experience and safety, and improve the traffic flow, whilst also creating better facilities for pedestrians and cyclists. Sounds simple, but the actual works itself involved major excavation work through a former railway embankment, the construction of a steel sheet piled retaining wall with a weathering steel capping beam, and the installation of a stormwater retention tank, as well as highways widening and realignment. So it was actually quite exciting.
And the final project in the medium category is City of Durham Sewerage, Flass Vale. Project team Northumbrian Water Limited and Mott MacDonald Bentley.
It was really challenging and really tough, but I think that's why we're civil engineers, isn't it? We like to solve problems.
It started off, there's two converging sewers in a woodland area, and during periods of heavy rainfall there was a pinch point in the system, so it was overloaded and the sewage was spilling into the local burn.
We would usually vibratory or percussively install sheet piles, but we went with this silent piling method. Using silent piling in what was a field, for me, was not something that we would usually do. We put something like 212 sheet piles in 2 days to 11 metre depth. I was really proud of that, and it set it apart for me in all the years I've done it. It was bare bones civil engineering. It was an absolute pleasure to be associated with.
We walked away from the site with glowing praises from the local community.
It's legacy and leaving the right legacy.
Well done to everyone involved. This is what the judges had to say about the winner of the medium category.
All the schemes were very closely matched across each of the criteria. The winning scheme stood out in the manner and the processes that were used to deliver the project. This scheme, whilst delivering a technically sound solution, provided benefits to all of the community, including residents, visitors, and the project delivery team. The delivery method for the project not only kept the benefits local, but also encouraged the development of skills and experience of the delivery team. The judging panel were particularly impressed by the client's willingness to take on the role as client, designer, and contractor for this scheme, principally for reasons of investing in their own workforce and demonstrating that the local authority was an organisation which had the skills and expertise to deliver projects to meet the needs of the city's residents.
The winner of the Robert Stephenson Awards medium category is Northern Gateway. Congratulations to Sunderland City Council, Waterman Aspen, ACOM and WSP. And so onto the Robert Stephenson Awards large category. Enterprise Zone and A19 A1058 Coast Road improvements. First up is Enterprise Zone, project team Sunderland City Council and Esh Civils.
The project we were involved in was for Sunderland City Council. It involved new highway scheme to facilitate a larger network of improvements.
Throughout every phase of the scheme, there were ecology issues that we had to deal with.
That included Himalayan balsam, which was found in one of the ponds down the bottom, and badgers and nesting birds down around the Barmston Mere area. One of the other main problems we had to overcome was the stakeholders in the area. Trying to phase the works along Nissan Way, along the A1290 was quite a headache, which we needed to overcome by various innovative traffic management techniques.
Being able to complete the works with no disruption or very minimal disruption to Nissan and their production, I feel makes the project stand out.
And the second project in the category is the A19 A1058 Coast Road Improvements. Project team Highways England, WSP and John Sisk & Son Limited.
It's a uniquely challenging project in a very built-up area. Everyone knew this area was a bottleneck for traffic management and delays, and I think locally it was deemed to be a success. To accelerate the project, we used a lot of off-site production. So we precasted all the panels that clad the piles underneath them, and they were designed so if necessary, they could be removed for inspection in the future or replacement if damaged due to an accident. If you wanted to get somebody into engineering, that's the type of project they wanted to build. We maintained very good relationships with the stakeholders, and we delivered what we promised to. And I think it's for everyone in the area, they have been very supportive, and it's been seen as a successful project. Everyone you talk to involved with it always talks about it, and it's good. That's a really nice thing to say, that you look back at it in 10 years' time or 5 years' time, and you kind of look at the team that was there, and it was good fun.
Excellent work. This is what the judges had to say about the winner of the large category.
So, this scheme has brought significant improvement to the wider community through reduction in journey time on some of the main routes in the region. The sustainability credentials of the scheme were enhanced by transport of the Site 1 material to the nearby Tesco's site for the use in the earthworks there rather than going to landfill. The only triple level junction roundabout in the region, this project made innovative use of precast concrete panels, pushing the boundaries with the sizes utilised on site, and made good use of 4D BIM modelling, allowing the project to be built in the virtual environment before getting onto site, and using the outcomes of this to influence working methodology and sequencing. This is a project with true local ownership, encouraging a sense of pride in the region, with around 2/3 of the labour being from the local area, with more compliments than complaints received during the construction period.
The winner of the Robert Stephenson Awards large category is A19 A1058 Coast Road Improvements. Congratulations to Highways England, WSP and John Sisk & Son Limited. Well done to everyone involved in this project. And congratulations to all of our 2020 Robert Stephenson Award winners.